One of my favourite games of all time is Celeste. It's a platforming game about a young woman scaling a mountain to overcome her mental health. It's honestly fantastic and it deserves all the praise it gets. Another of my favourite games is VA11 Hall A, also known as Valhalla, which is a visual novel set in a dystopian world where you, Jill, are a bartender. Again, a fantastic game. Another favourite is Stardew Valley, a farming simulator with lots of exciting places to explore and characters to meet. Now, those three games don't have a lot in common with each other, yet I still hold each of them near and dear to my heart, and that's mainly because they're each some of the best games of their genres in my opinion. But there is one feature that I adore which ties them all together. All three of these games are amazing at creating an interesting, engaging and relatable world. They don't just let you play them, they let you escape into them. You don't need to worry about deadlines or finances or the noisy bastard next door. No, you can put your noise cancelling headphones on, boot up these magical worlds, and get completely lost in them for God knows how long. This is escapism at its best. Now, like everything, there's a big difference between having a hobby that you indulge in for a healthy amount of time and addiction. Video game addiction is one of those things that kinda sounds like a 12-year-old's excuse to play Fortnite for an extra hour before bed just to get their fix. But especially in more recent years, the idea that you can be genuinely addicted to video games has become much more understood and accepted in medical spaces. You can get addicted to a whole range of stuff, and video games are literally designed to keep people playing, to get people spending their money on stuff they don't particularly need. No matter how much they hate the game, they can't stop playing because there's this desire to play the game again, because this time you might win, and last game was just a fluke anyway because your bot lane were toxic, and your jungler didn't take smite, and anyway, what I'm trying to say is, games are made to get people to play as much as possible, and when they do become addicted, it's no longer about the escapism, it's about sating the addiction. Now, I'm not recommending people get all of their medical advice from WebMD, but some of the signs of addiction are needing to spend more and more time playing just to feel good, not being able to quit the game, and having it affect other aspects of your life in negative ways. And at that point, the line between escapism and addiction has been crossed. So for the rest of the video, we'll be under the assumption that it isn't because of addiction, and rather because of the unique benefits of escapism. The world is scary for most people, but it can be really scary for others. This might be because of a bad home life, or maybe somebody's getting bullied at school, or their job brings on a lot of stress, or whatever it is. And after a day of dealing with these kinds of issues, you just sort of want to jump into a different world where you don't have to worry about these issues anymore. You don't have to think of them at all. Hell, in this world, you don't even have to be you. A lot of the time, you can become whoever the character you're playing as is, even if just for a little bit each day. A couple of years ago, I was in a really difficult spot mentally and physically, and the highlight of each day during this time was the last 30 minutes to an hour before I went to bed, because that's the time I either played half a shift or a full shift in Valhalla. Even if it was just for a brief period of time each night, I got to become Jill, and almost feel better about my living situation through the dystopian world that was Glitch City. Thank God the game asked you to save during your breaks and at the end of each shift, because I could just get lost in that cyberpunk world. One of the big features of escapism is this grip on real life time being lost. After all, who needs time when you're pouring a drink for a brain in a jar?